right? So over and above that, if you want to build more buildings, for example, so I have to raise funds. So that's where my alumni come in. I'll ask my alumni to raise funds. They come and play golf. When they play golf, they give me money. That's it. Yeah.
Sina, don't leave just yet because I want to add on to your question. Because when you said that you are under 3 conditions from the government, as long as you have followed those 3 conditions, then you're free to do whatever. Is that true?
Yes. Yeah.
Including fundraising.
Fundraising, okay. There's fundraising I can raise in the past, no condition, but recently there's a new rule. Right? They do not want us to raise too much fund to build infrastructure, because they say independent schools are too good already. I have swimming pool, I have gymnasium, I have big track and field, I have big gardens and so on. They say other schools are so small. When students from a government school look at your school, they will feel very angry. Why you have, why I don't have? And that costs votes for the government. When they go for election, they lose out because of that, because they will blame the government, right, because we have more. So this is something very, very delicate, become a political issue. So the Ministry of Education tell us, yes, you get your alumni to donate, but please don't build too much. You build too much, we become too unequal, right? The gap is too big, people are unhappy.
That's what I was going to say. Do you have problems with the issues with equity and equality among the schools in Singapore?
Yes, they're beginning to show some unhappiness. So in a way, we have to slow down to wait for them, right? So we have to bring up the rest. So now there's a new duty given to independent school. We are supposed to help other schools to rise up. So there's a new duty. So we just met our minister, say, you better do it for me, otherwise he will be in trouble.
So those schools become your sister schools, like brother sister schools?
Correct. So we work with some of the government schools in the cluster, so that we all improve together. But anyway, that is also one of the objectives of independent school. The very fact that government give us more money to build up our curriculum and activities, because we want to experiment first. When we are successful, we are supposed to share with the rest. So that is you never change. That's the main objective having independent school.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think Sina's question also touched upon something of your answers. So your school, since you charge about 10 times more to your students and the family, so is it a school only for the privileged?
No, as
like
I say,
the people that comes into your school?
Not really. The government make it very clear that if you can't pay, they will pay.
So what is the process of selection? How do you
Just by
select
results.
your students?
Just by results. You must prove that you're good enough to join my school.
No entrance examination?
Oh, they are okay. We have a national examination for primary schools. So all the primary school students have to go through that national exam. We take in the best 3 to 5% students. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So based on the exam results, but we also have our own entrance exam for the other 50% of students. So admission to my school must be by merit. Either you do well in studies, or you have good leadership record, or you are a good sportsman. You must be by merit. You cannot say, my father is rich, then I want to go to school. Cannot. So that is something that the government is very, very particular. If I take in any student who is rich and who has not lived up the standard and join my school, I am in trouble. That's very important. Yeah.
Thank you. Sina, any more questions?
And can you show me how the creativity and excellence achieved, like just the best one for your experience?
If you look at the evolution, right, from exam-focused curriculum until today, where they can learn anytime, anywhere, you find that there are lots of new things going on, right? So, and we give recognition to all these people who bring in new ideas, new pedagogies. The latest thing I saw from among the presentation of my teachers is that they are working on something called team-based learning, where students learn as a team, right? So it's very much student-centric learning. So we encourage that kind of research, right? So different groups of teachers are doing different things. They have one common purpose: to improve the way students learn. So slowly we are moving towards very much student-centric learning. So At the moment, I notice that my teachers are working very hard. Students are working, yes, but not as hard. So I want to transfer the responsibility of teaching to the student, right, to become the responsibility of learning. So the students should be the one who design their own learning, who tell us, this is what I want to learn, can you teach me? Rather than teachers telling students, this is what you need to learn, I teach you. No, the other way around. The responsibility is transferred to the student. This is a very important paradigm shift. I guess I need another 4 or 5 years to achieve that. So if I can achieve that, I will retire already. Yeah.
Okay, and thank you so much.
Thank you.
For that, you cannot possibly respond to individuals' needs of each of the students. So how do you select what to teach collectively? Like, can you tell us what are the processes?
So at the moment, you find that when the curriculums are designed by teachers, the teachers decide what students must learn. Right? But I want to come to a point, I hope in the near future, my student will say, this is what I want to learn. Can you help me to learn? That is the paradigm shift. So it may not be science, it may not be mathematics, it may not be language, it may be something that we have never been done before. Right? But the students are very, very intelligent because they learn from the internet. I see some of the students, you know how they learn. For example, programming, right? Computer programming. They don't learn from my students. They learn from the best programmer in the different parts of the world. They go online. They know how to find good programmer who can solve the kind of problem that they're trying to solve. My teachers cannot solve, but they're able to find people to do it. That kind of student who knows exactly what he wants in life and who knows exactly his own passion, and he just wants the school to help him to develop his passion. Very not an easy task, but I hope to achieve that. Yeah.
So it's a non-traditional way of teaching now.
Non-traditional, definitely very different. Yeah. But the outcome will be very, very different.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
You will have quantum leap. Yeah.
Perfect. All right. Next question, please. Yes.
My name is Nitira, a doctoral student. And since you mentioned about teacher and good teachers, is it possible to share how you recruit teachers, good teachers, into your school? And is it possible to share the compensation program compared with the government schools?
We try all means, okay? So we have only one institute of education in Singapore, so we know where the teachers, the source of the teachers are. So what we do is we make friends with all the professors in the National Institute of Education. So we will ask them to identify good students. Before they graduate, they will tell us, hey, so-and-so is very good, so recommend to us. This is one way. Then our own teachers will also invite their friends to come in, right? And our own alumni who wants to be teachers, we also invite them. We also give scholarship to our own students to study in the university. When they finish their degree course, they will come back to serve the school. Many, many different ways. We also advertise, definitely, from the open market. Not easy, but we try all means. Yeah.
And what about the compensation package compared with
Compensation
the
package.
teachers in the
What do you want to know? How much?
Yeah.
Okay, a typical
Twice the price of the market price or the
market price. Okay, a typical teacher in Singapore, a beginning teacher, will get about 3,000 plus a month, right? And usually a good teachers will get something like 15 months a year, right? So including bonus. The bonus, we get 3 bonuses every year, right? One in June, one in December, another one in December. June usually about half a month, right? December is about 1 to 1.5, depending on the economy. If Singapore's economy is good, the government will give more bonus. So that 2 bonuses are paid by government. So they want to encourage ownership. Then the bonus in March is called performance bonus. Different teachers will get different amount, right? We have different grades. We have A to E. D and E, no bonus. C, they get about 1 month to 1.5 months. A grade, they get 4.5 months. So if you get half a month in June, 1.5 months in December, that's 2 months, plus another 4.5 months, that's 6.5 months. So a very, very good teachers will get 16.5 months of salary. Right? So multiply by 3,000 plus, that is a beginning teacher. Right? If you are a very senior teacher will teach for about 15 years, 10, 15 years, you get about $8,000 per month. So 8 times 16.5, that's what you get.
And that's all the teachers in Singapore.
Yeah.
Right, but at Hwa Chong, you said that you gave a little bit more, so...
Okay, at Hwa Chong with entry level, I give them 1 point more, right? Just to attract them to come in. But at the end of the day, if they want to get more, they have to perform. But the good thing is, my school, we follow the same appraisal system. We give performance bonus. In government school, there is a fixed quota. 30% A or B, right? They cannot have more than 30%, no matter how good you are. So they cap it 30% A or B, and another 20% C plus, and the other 50%, 45% C, and the last 5% must be D. So that means there's a fixed formula for government school. My school, I say no formula. If you're good, I pay you, I don't care. Right? So that's how it goes. So they are happy, right? Yeah.
Can I ask more questions? What about the average service year for your teachers and how you keep them with the school?
Average number of years?
Yes.
I can't answer that question, but frankly speaking, many of my staff have been with me for more than 20 years. I'm in the school for 33 years. So many of my staff, 20 and above.
How you keep them with you, especially the good one?
I don't know why they don't want to go. Develop them, enable them, empower them, and appreciate them. So it is not money. I don't think it's the money. It is the empowerment. Because I leave them alone. When they can do a good job, why must I check on them? Right? So they are happy when they are given the autonomy to run the show. Yeah. So and I am happy too because I have less work to do. Right? As long as my students are happy and successful, why should I bother how you do? Right? So, but collectively, they must also show me that they are improving themselves. Even the very senior teachers, they also must do research so that they are progressing. Nobody should tell me that, oh, I know everything, I don't need to learn anymore. No. Even if you are very senior, you have nothing to learn, you also go and do research to seek improvement. This is what we do in Hwa Chong. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, my last question. And what you do with the C grade or D grade teachers?
Okay, D graders, C graders are okay because they are considered good teachers. D graders are the one who just meet requirement. So we don't pay them extra. So we will counsel them, we talk to them, say, hey, you come here not because you just want to earn a living, right? Nobody come to my school just to earn a living. If you want to come to school, you must do extra. If you don't want to do extra, you should go to another school or go to a government school. This is my advice. So usually they will want to improve. So what we do is we will attach a senior teacher with them to help them to improve, right? If after 1 year, 2 years, they still cannot improve, automatically they will go, right? Because they will not be able to take the stress.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Okay.
As long as we're in the topic anyway, there are questions from the floor as well on this topic. How are the teachers evaluated?
This is another 1 hour talk. Next year you invite me back, I'll give a talk on this. There are 3 dimensions, staff evaluation, 3 dimensions. Most importantly is their performance, the students' performance. Performance, not just academic results, but also their overall, the holistic performance, okay? Then the second dimension is how they improve themselves and how they help other people improve. We want to see people help their colleagues improve together. Then the third dimension is how they contribute to the school and help the school improve. 3 dimensions. Most importantly, 2/3 of it is on the students' performance. Yeah, students' performance and the students' holistic development. Yeah, and in terms of including character education.
So you don't evaluate the teachers on the quality of the research at all?
Oh yes, the research is the third dimension where they help the school improve. Yeah.
Okay.
So the research is actually it could be a new pedagogy, right? So if the new pedagogy is successful, other people will learn from her, then she will get a better.
And you measure the success of that based on the students' progress.
Yes, we see what are the research he has done and how he has changed the life in Hwa Chong.
So it seems like the teachers are being evaluated on the results of what they're doing with the students and the students'
not just the
performance.
results, but the effort as well, the process. Sometimes they put in a lot of efforts, but there's no result. We still reward them because they put in effort. That has to be given recognition. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we have a gentleman standing there.
Yes.
Hi, welcome to Thailand.
Thank you.
Just want you to explain a little more on what are the difference between when you put a teacher in a consortium instead of department, and surely there is a lot of work for teachers because in department they will concern about the subject. They don't have to do extra stuff. When you put them in on consortium, they will have more work. How do you convince them, and how do you achieve it, and what are pros and cons?
In fact, my teachers are happier under this consortium scheme. Let me give you a reason. In the past, when they are in the department system, let's say I'm a science teacher, I report to my head of science. Right? Whether I like my head of science or not, I have no choice. I must work under him. Right? If I don't like him, if the head of science give me trouble, there's only one thing I need to do is I get the transfer, go to another school. So it's very painful, right? So you with the transfer school is very painful. But now you are in this consortium, you are under this director. If you don't like this director, you can always change to another director. You can go to another consortium. You don't have to leave Hwa Chong in order to change your boss. So imagine if you can change your boss, that's a nice thing, right? So that's how it works. So teachers who can't work with a certain director or consortium, they move to another consortium. So you still cannot work with this, go to another. There are 4 consortium. If they try all the 4 consortium and they cannot work with all the 4, something must be wrong with this teacher, so he should leave. Yeah, as simple as that. So it's the beauty of the program. But they also feel the ownership. Most of the teachers don't leave the consortium. They stay in the consortium for a long time because they can see the progress of the students. Imagine when a student come in 13 years old, 6 years later become president scholar, you have lots of this sense of achievement is something that people treasure. All teachers like the kind of outcome. Right? Something that money cannot buy. Right? So they under consortium system they can get it. Yeah.
So in each consortium, there's many more like a program, right? Consist of many subjects.
Yep.
And then, I see.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Correct. Thank you.
So do all the students in different consortiums study the same thing? Just different themes.
It may not be the same thing, and it may not do the same programs. So different consortium can be slightly different. Especially the consortium for the gifted education, they are very different. That particular consortium, their lessons are very active. Right? They ask a lot of questions, they do a lot of experiments, they do all kinds of things. Very different. Not everybody can learn that way. Yeah, the other 3 consortiums, sometimes they work together on some joint programs, sometimes they have their individual program. There are people who say, oh, I prefer to go to Cambodia rather than Nepal. They decide where they want to go. Right? By and large, they have similar program, but they may do it differently. Yeah.
So do you have any problems with the standards among the consortiums, like the difference in the standards of learning?
We just look at the macroscopic perspective of their performance. By and large, they are okay. Sometimes this consortium is done slightly better than the other. It doesn't matter. But in the long run, everyone is doing fine. When it first started, there were competition. But later on, I solved the problem. Every week, I have lunch with the director consortium. Right? So every week, they have to tell me what program to have, so that everybody know what is going on in every consortium. So since then, no more problem because they know everyone so well. Now I don't have to have lunch with them every week. I only have lunch with them every month. They are already working fine together. Yeah. So yeah, when it first started, there are competitions, but now no more. Yeah.
So when the students enter the school, are they immediately be put under each of the consortium, or how are they being placed in each of the consortium? Like in Harry Potter, like they put on the hat, the sorting hat.
The gifted students are put in the gifted consortium. That's understood. All right. The other 3 is random.
Random.
They are random. Yeah.
So what if I've known someone, like for example my brother has gone to this school before and he's under one of the consortium, I know that consortium very well, and I want to go into that consortium.
No choice.
No choice.
No choice.
You cannot say that.
No,
So
cannot.
it's randomly picked.
Right. Yeah.
Yes, please, more question.
Yes.
Good afternoon. I heard that many schools in Singapore use an iPad or 101 program, and what do you think about that? And another question is how important the technology is for your school.
Okay, my partner school is the school that use iPad. Right? So what happened is the first 4 years, the junior high school is a boys' school. The girls are in another school called Nanyang Girls. Right? So 400 of them. After 4 years, they will join our senior high school. So that school use iPad. But for my school, my junior high school, I don't prescribe the kind of gadgets they must use. The reason is very simple. I want to teach my student how to make decision. So what they do is when students come in secondary 1, we will tell the parents, don't buy any laptop, don't buy anything first. All right? So we will teach your son how to buy, what to buy. Right? So they have to decide. So my teachers, we have ICT teachers, they will tell them what the laptop can do, what the iPad can do, what iPad cannot do. Right? And laptop, how many different types of laptop, what kind of features there are, what is the video card, what is the sound card, what are the capacity of different components. Right? So they take a few weeks to teach them all these hardware requirements, configuration, specification, and so on. Teach them. Then we teach them about budget. Right? So different students come from different family. If your father is millionaire, by all means buy whatever you want, right? So if your father is a low salary, come from a low social economic status family, then you have to be very careful, right? You must think how whether money is a concern. So at the end of the 3 months, the first term, the students have to come up with a proposal to their parents what they want to buy, right? And if their family is too poor to buy, they also send in the application for financial assistance. So that way, I teach my students to think what they want to buy, why they want to buy, and how they want to use it. So to us, that is a better education. Even if they make mistake, never mind. They are only just the laptop. They will suffer for 3 years. That's all. It doesn't matter. So instead of telling everybody everyone must buy iPad, no, that's not the way to go. Some school can do that because they want standardization. They want to make life easier for teachers. Frankly, this way, life of teachers is not easy because different students have different gadgets. But what we tell the teachers is, as far as lessons is concerned, you use web-based resources. Web-based resources, you can use any gadgets, doesn't matter, right? So let the student make that decision so that they live with that decision. To me, it's a very much more important skills to pick up. So I also have a group of teachers teaching thinking skills, right? So these are the people who teach them how to make decisions. They will draw the decision metrics and so on. Different students have different priority, so they will make decisions differently. So we pick a few students to share in the class why they do that and so on. This is how we deal with electronic gadgets. Yeah.
So what about like how important the technology or the usage of the technology is for your school?
It's very important. Right? I mentioned just now, when my internet is down, practically we can't function. We can't function without technology. It's very, very important. Right? Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you. Next, please. Yes? No? Yes? Yes, please. Here.
Oh, okay.
It's okay.
First of all, I'd like to again compliment our speaker. I think he's done an outstanding job and he's providing valuable information. I'd like to address 2 questions. In the move to a consortium approach, what you've saying it's student-driven,
Student-centric.
Yeah, student-centric. Okay, now my question is two things in that area. The director of a consortium has to be more than a subject expert. Just like the students, when working in a consortium, I teach leading virtual international teams, and my students in the same class are from all over the world. It's one thing to teach subject, it's another thing to teach process. Could you share with us a little bit about how you develop people to be directors of consortium? Second, how do you develop teachers to better work in consortia compared to breaking with an old departmental model? It's very easy to follow standard hierarchy and stick with your subject and move forward. But a lot of the learning, as you're saying, a lot of the contribution is learning how to learn. And that learning how to learn is a process, it's not a subject. And that is an underpinning of the whole area of knowledge management. So could you talk about it, because you're describing a facilitative approach, a mentoring process, and how do you deal with your teachers in regard to that?
Okay, let me just address the first question. How do I choose my director of consortium? You are right. We don't just look at the ability to teach. Right? The ability to teach is something that is expected for all teachers. But to be a director of consortium, leadership is very, very important. They must be servant leaders. There must be servant leaders. So there must be leaders that are well respected by their team members. Right? If consortium directors are not respected by team members, you'll find that no teachers want to join them. So just now I mentioned to you, it is a very fluid system whereby if teachers don't believe in you, they don't want to be in your consortium, then you have no teachers. Right? So therefore the key characteristic is leadership. Whether you develop people, whether you empower people, whether you look after people, that is the key. Right? How to choose? I know them because they work with me. Usually new teachers cannot be director consortium. They probably have to teach in my school for about 10, 15 years before they are identified. Yeah. And in the process, since we adopted servant leadership as a conceptual framework, we develop everyone to be servant leaders. The best servant leaders are picked to lead the consortium. That's how we do it. Yeah. So I hope you have answered your question. Yeah. Thank you. So you are the firm believer of servant leadership. So I hope this is something we have in common. I can learn from you too. Thank you.
Yes, please. All right, while you're thinking, I'll give you about 2 more minutes to think of more questions. There are 2 questions from the audience that are related to the community service that you take your students outside the country. The first one is not a question, but actually it is an offer. It said, regarding to the community service subject, if your students cannot be study in your country and cannot do any work in your country, please come to Thailand. We have many mercy house.
Thank you. After this conference, please see me.
So whoever that make that offer, you need to raise your hand. There you go.
Oh, good. Thank you very much. Yes.
Okay. But next is the question. It said, when you're doing that, safety is an issue.
Yes.
So how do you make sure that all your students are safe, and how do you gain the trust from the parents that that is?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Safety is the top concern. We make sure that we know the place well. We have local partners to take us through, to look after us. Otherwise, we will not go. So let me give you an example. Before any trips to be taken, we must know whether we have any people who know that place very well, right? Preferably local people, if not someone from Singapore who know that place very well, and they will normally work out some form of programs. And before we implement, our teachers must go there for a recce trip. They must go there personally to make sure that place is fit for our students to go, right? So these are the 2 steps that we must have. So without that, we will not. So for countries that are unable to give us a very safe environment, we won't go, right? So certain parts of Cambodia, we don't go also, right? So it can be quite dangerous. Thailand is okay. I think I'm happy to send my student to Thailand. They come to quite a number of community service is done in Nepal and in Malaysia. Malaysia is relatively safe. Right? Some part of Indonesia and China. Right? So usually we have local partners to look after my kids. Yeah, very very important. Yeah. So I love to explore Thailand.
And how do you communicate with the parents?
We invite them for discussion. We talk to them. We tell them these are the opportunities. Usually, we will brief the student first. Student will express interest. When they are interested, then we invite the parents to come in. We will further brief the parents. They decide whether they want to go. And usually, for overseas community involvement program for the senior students, at least year 9, grade 9 at least. Usually about 10 to 11, the most common groups of people. Yeah.
But I bet that instead of they're being worried, they're actually excited that their kids get to go.
Yes.
I bet that's the reality.
In Singapore, parents are afraid of their children. I don't know why. So when the children say they want to go, the parents have no choice. They will just have to let them go. I don't know why.
Okay, next question from the audience. I come from the education service area. Which is like all the Thai school has to be under one of those. I would like to know when you get teachers or administrators who needs to be changed, like whose attitudes need to be adjusted. What would be the best possible way to do that? Like for example, do you get one of those that has to be adjusted?
Oh, okay. We will not just tell them, oh, you have not done well, you have to go. No. We work with them for at least 1 year. We just tell them, this is the expectation, this is where you are, this is where you should be. Right? Tell me what are the supports you need. Whatever support you need, I will try to give it to him. And if after half a year, and every few months we will talk to them. So there's a very close support given. Right? If after 1 year they still cannot live up the standard, we just tell them maybe you want to seek alternative employment. Right? There are people, in fact, the teacher who can't do well in my school does not mean they are lousy teacher, not necessarily. Maybe the kind of student that we have is not suitable for them, that's all. Right? So in fact, I have a teacher who came in, I think he underperformed. He was near a D grader, so we were not very happy with him. So we told him about what we have. So eventually, I told him, if you explore going to government school, maybe you can do better. And I recommended him to government school. So in government school, there are many different streams. So the better students are in the express stream. There are some weaker students. They call it normal stream or normal technical stream. So eventually, he joined the normal streams. Students are not so intellectually able. Right? So and he's doing very well over there. So he become one of the best teacher in that particular school, under that environment. So therefore, sometimes you have to see, if it's a mismatch, we advise them accordingly. It's good for them. Yeah, it's good for our student. It's good for him too. Right? So we must know the teachers well. Always remember, as a servant leaders, we must understand our teachers, our team members. If the team member cannot do well in my context, in my environment, does not mean that he won't do well in other environment. So we should guide them like guiding our own brothers or guiding our own children. Just guide them along. Yeah, they will be okay. Yeah.
So what is the teacher turnover rate at your school? Is it high or not at all?
No, frankly speaking, my junior high school last year I only need to employ one teacher only. Yeah.
Wow. Mm-hmm.
Senior high I need to employ a few more because senior high school teachers are younger somehow. Right? They want to go overseas for their further studies, so I need to recruit more. Yeah. So most of the time, people leave because they go for further studies. Right? Some of them prefer full-time studies, so they go overseas. Some want to go to Ministry of Education to be a policy maker. So that kind of reason. And also increasingly for their family. Many lady teachers would like to spend more time with the children. So very seldom I have teacher who resign from my school to go to another school. No. That's something that I'm very proud of. Yeah.
Yes. 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 Ching Ling, may you come to the.
They're all your students.
Yes.
Thank you for visiting our school. My name is Zhang Qingling. I come from China.
You can ask in Chinese.
Yeah, thank you.
Please do when I cannot translate.
I'm very excited to stay here to ask your question. My question is, the creativity expert Sir Carey Robinson, he said, we don't know what is going to happen in the future, but what we can do is to help our students to find their talent and creativity. So my question is, as a manager of the school, what can we do to help our students to find their talent and creativity? Thank you very much.
Very simple. Give them opportunities and ask them to have an open mind. Many of the students, especially the gifted students, they have a fixed mind. They can do well in certain area and they continue to spend time on that area. They don't want to venture out. Right? So that's my observation. So we always tell our students, don't do that. If you can do well in this area, by all means carry on to do it, but at the same time, be open-minded enough to try new things. Right? So if you try new things, who knows, you can discover other talents that you have. So our duty in school is to provide the opportunities for them to learn, and we will encourage them to take the opportunity and try new things. So by doing so, you'll find that a lot of students actually can discover that they have many other talents, and eventually they do very well in life. So these are the two key things that we always tell our students. Don't fix your mind on one particular field. Try new things. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yes. All right. Next question is related to the SQA, Singapore Quality Award. The question is, does every school in Singapore has to go through the SQA?
Oh, no. Every school must go through the validation process for SEM, the School Excellence Model. Right, so once they go through the School Excellence Model, every 5 years they must go through once. So once they go through, the evaluation team come from the Ministry of Education. They will give you a score. You have 200 points, 300 points, 400 points, and so on. They will tell them if the school has 400 points, they will get this SQC standard, so one certification. So when the school go high up to about 700 points, then they will encourage you to try SQA. SQA is not done by Ministry of Education anymore. SQA is done by Spring Singapore. That is a standard and productivity board. That is a government's body to check the standard of different organization. So it is one up. Right? So that means they send people like businessmen, they send people from Ministry of Defense or some other people to come in to assess you. So you must be able to convince them that you are world class. That means you are one of the best in the world. Right? So if you can convince them, you get 700 points and above, you get the SQA. And the SQA award is given in a very grand ceremony where the minister, prime minister will come and give it to you. And every year, about only 3 or 4 companies can get, only 3 or 4 organizations every
It's
year.
under the international standards.
Yes, so that means you reach the world-class standard already. Then only you get that award. Not easy. So you must be able to explain to people that you have reached that level. That means people want to learn from you. People think you're the best. Yeah.
So, and you may have already answered the questions, because the next question related to that is that what makes you decide that you want to enter the SQA, and